Hey, Karen,
Hey, Anita.
you know what year it is?
It's 2024.
No, it's 1864 again.
Oh, well, then let's do the show.
Blue wave, blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
On Monday, a day before the Arizona Supreme Court decided to drag women back in time, specifically to the 19th century. Arizona Republican State Senator Anthony Kern invited an anti-abortion prayer group to the Senate floor. Seen in a video filmed by an anonymous attendee, Kern led the group through a prayer and speaking in tongues as they knelt over the state seal.
Let it be so, Father God. Let it be so. Let it be so. Lord, right now we just release the presence of the Lord in the Senate chamber. We just release the hovering glory of God Almighty in the Senate chamber.
I'll note that Senator Kern also happens to be under investigation for falsely claiming to be a legitimate Arizona elector for Donald Trump back in 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounded like a mental hospital. I don't know what to say. Those people are the people that are running Arizona, okay?
Right. So, as we know, the Arizona Supreme Court ruling Tuesday cleared the way to reinstate an 1864 law that would ban nearly all abortions. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is before women had the right to vote, so women weren't voting then.
Mhm.
Arizona consisted of a little over 6,000 people, and the only people that were making any decisions were white men.
Yeah.
So, oh, and by the way, it wasn't a state. Arizona wasn't even a state yet.
That's right. That's right.
It
It
was
was
a
a
territory.
territory. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, I live in Texas. We have even a worse ban here. Doctors can serve up to life in prison for performing an abortion in
Right.
Texas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and by the way, our attorney general fought to allow women to die because
Mhm.
Joe Biden signed that executive order
Mhm.
saying that the hospitals all had to they had to protect if a woman's life was threatened, the
Yeah.
abortion had to be performed, and he's
Yeah.
fighting that. Our attorney general, Ken Paxton, the guy who's under indictment for several different
Yeah.
crimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this, this is the thing. This is the problem when you have male legislators who are making decisions for women's health care. They are not qualified to make
No.
any kind of decisions. It is not the role of the government, should not be the role of the
Well,
government to do that.
well, Republicans, remember how they used to talk about how Democrats were the party of big government? They're the party
Mhm.
of big government. They're big government Republicans. They
Right.
want to be involved in all the aspects of your private life. They
Yeah.
want to tell you when and how you can have a baby, who you can love, who you can
Mhm.
marry, what books you can let your children read,
Right.
or whether or not you can get medical care for your kids, certain
Yeah.
medical care for your kids. I mean, this is the party of big ass government. That's who the
Right.
Republican Party is, and they always have been. It's
Yep.
always been a lie that they were the
Yep.
party of small government. Because
Yep.
any party that is against women making their own reproductive choices is a party of big government.
Yep. Yep.
So, anyway, let's talk also about Donald Trump's huge, I mean, I have never seen a political blunder bigger than this. The one that he made with that speech on, what was it, Tuesday? Was it the
Mhm.
day of the eclipse? I
Yeah.
don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the
I
day
believe
of the
so.
eclipse, he makes this speech and he
Mhm.
basically offends everyone. Okay,
Yep.
because he's telling, first of all, he talks about how it's, he basically just repeats what the law is now that he's, appointed the Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe by saying it, it goes back to the states, which we
Yep.
all know, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
then, because he's trying to make it more palatable, I guess, but then he
Mhm.
starts talking about how Democrats are the extremists because they want abortions up to 9 months. As a matter of fact, they want abortions for even after the baby is born. And he talked about how the babies are executed. So at the
Yeah.
same time, he's saying Democrats are allowing babies to be executed. Then
Mhm.
he's saying, but we'll leave it up to the states. So if
Yeah.
if you think babies are being executed, you're just going to leave that up to the states? That doesn't
Right.
even make sense. So he
No.
offends the total, the truly, far right evangelicals who are very, this is their big issue. I know some Catholics, this is their number one issue.
Mhm.
And so he's offended them, and nobody believes that
Yeah.
he's not going to sign a national abortion ban. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about the Comstock Act, which he could also do,
Sure.
which would basically,
Mhm.
we would have a national abortion ban without
Yes.
actually ever having to put it into law by
Yes.
using the Comstock Act.
Yeah, which is, of course, that was put in place in 1873, I believe.
Yes, which
Yeah.
so it's later than the Arizona law. So I guess it's
Yeah.
more modern.
Right. Yeah, they're going to use the Comstock Act. And
So
I just love these,
well, let's talk
Republicans.
about
Yeah.
what the Comstock Act is
Okay.
real quick.
Okay,
The
so go ahead.
Comstock Act is
Mhm.
what it bans. It bans any kind of abortion medical equipment that is used for abortions or pharmaceuticals that are used in
Mhm.
abortions. So
Right.
therefore, if you even in states like Massachusetts, Illinois, New York,
Mhm.
if with the Comstock Act, you could not provide those states with medical equipment, or you would be violating the Comstock Act. They're using it
Right.
right now against the metopristone.
Mhm.
The
The
abortion.
myth, yeah, the
Yeah, meta,
mifepristone. Yeah,
right,
and that is specifically one of the things that they Project 2025 is planning
right,
on doing.
exactly. And it's
Right.
so dangerous because let's say that you need a life, you're in a life threatening situation where you need a life saving abortion.
Mhm.
You can't get the medical equipment for the doctors to provide that
Right.
life-saving abortion. I mean, I don't think that's, of course, that's already a problem when you start, telling women there's these exceptions for life-threatening
Mhm.
situations because you're making a woman get into a situation where her, like that woman in Texas, Amanda, where
Mhm.
yeah, it may not have cost her life, but she
Right.
may never be able to have any more children,
Yeah.
and it can cause all kinds of other problems.
Yeah. Yeah, you're talking about was that Willow's box ad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so
No.
powerful.
And it's just so heartbreaking because you know that this is one person. She is one person that's having to deal
Yep,
with
that
this.
had the courage to speak out and to tell
Well,
her story.
and to speak out and I mean, how many women in this country are have already gone through that just like her, have a similar story
Yep,
and are suffering in silence, Um
thousands,
yeah.
thousands.
And
We know
and
we go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, and you always say this, and with the exceptions give the game away, right? That it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
about life. And they peddle it out there, like even Donald Trump, and the flip flopping. Yeah, he's flip
Yeah.
flopping, but he's flip flopping on exceptions. And the bottom line is, it doesn't fricking matter if you
It is such
15
yeah,
weeks or
it
16 weeks because he likes his nice
or
round numbers. It doesn't matter. That woman that you were just talking about, Willow's
was
mom, was
18 weeks.
18 weeks when her water
Yeah.
broke.
And in the cases of rape or incest, that is such a, BS. You'll hear this, like, he'll say, "I think there should be exceptions for rape and incest,"
Mhm.
like that's some sort of moderate position.
Right.
Think
Yeah.
about what you would have to go through to get an exception for rape. You would
Right.
have to most rapes they don't even, go to the police or they don't report them, right?
Mhm. Right.
So you'd have to only report them and prove them in a court of law, prove that
Mhm.
you've been raped in order for it to get an exception for an abortion. And how many weeks would that take? By that time, you would probably be, who knows? I mean, it's just ridiculous, the rape
Mhm.
exception. And the same thing with the incest. Incest, even more so, is less
Right.
reported because it's a family thing.
Right. Yeah.
And so when I hear that, I get so angry. Not only that, but honestly, I just don't want government making any of these kind of decisions for women.
Well, not
This is
yeah, well, exactly, and
ever.
here's the thing. There are now, you're putting doctors in a position, and there are doctors in these states where there are abortion bans and, or 15-week bans, whatever the, number of weeks it is, and these doctors, even if there is that exception, they're afraid to
Yeah.
treat these women
Well, they're going to go to
they
prison for life in
they don't
Texas.
wanna lose their license, they don't wanna take a chance at losing their freedom and going to like you said, for life. Are you
Yep.
fucking kidding
I
me?
know. I mean, and so they have to determine whether this is truly a life, because somebody may challenge that if they
Right,
decide that is a life-threatening situation. So what
right.
they're doing is they're making these women, like that woman Amanda and also Kate Cox, who had gone, to the hospital. She was in distress. I'm not sure if she was bleeding or what happened, but they told her, "You have to. We cannot treat you right now. You have to come back when you're in what do they call that? Distress. When your
Mhm.
blood pressure is dropping, when you have all these signs that you're actually dying.
Yeah.
You're basically dying."
Well, and
And
that
that is,
woman, Amanda, she almost died 4 times.
yeah.
She had such
They
severe
had
yeah,
Yep. They had the priest in there to give her last rites.
yeah,
Honestly, her parents had come. They thought she was going to die
yeah,
because they had to wait that long before they felt they would be protected by the law.
right.
I mean, seriously, they're taking these kind of life and death decisions,
Mhm.
and, you know, real people. This woman could have lost her life easily.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just the callousness of these Republican men too. That they can just sit there and it's just like, "Oh yeah, it's okay. We're going to listen, little lady. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give you 15 weeks. Okay?
Yes, I know.
We'll give you until 15 weeks. And you know something, if you do need to go and get some, health care, if you do need to go have an abortion out of state, that's okay. You're going to be able to just hop on a bus and do that."
Yeah, and even with the rape and or if your life is threatened, rape or incest exceptions. I mean, oh, well, don't worry. We're going to give you an exception if it's not your fault. If you got
Yeah.
pregnant, but if you were out there, being a slut and all,
Mhm.
then,
Yeah.
got
But
to pay
there
the
was that
price.
guy guy that was on that Republican that was on with Larry Kudlow. Did you hear that one?
Oh my God, yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay. So I think we have the clip of that.
I mean, this is tricky business. How does this play out?
It hurts Trump for a few days, and then people start to realize this is not the worst thing in the world.
He may come out. He'll come out against us. I'm going to. Oh, no, maybe he won't. But remember, his point was the legislature, Mark. He didn't mention the court. So this is tricky. State Supreme Court, does that qualify as a state decision?
Yeah, that's what it is to be pro-choice.
Yeah.
The states can decide. If you had to travel to another state to get an abortion, it's not the worst thing in the world. Hopefully, this is a very rare occurrence in your life. Once in your life, maybe you would do it. Buying a bus ticket to go somewhere to get it is not the worst thing in the world.
Okay, that is so
So
disturbing in so many
that is
ways.
so disturbing. So that was Mark Simone, WOR radio host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not going to be a few days. I mean,
No.
I remember when they overturned Roe, people were
Mhm.
like, "Oh, they'll get over it." I mean, seriously, there were people. Caddy K on Morning Joe was like, I think this will wear off by the
Mhm.
midterms."
Yeah.
And so, of course, everybody was wrong. Yeah, there weren't that many people out, protesting as much as like when
Mhm.
we saw with the George Floyd things. But
Yeah.
women were angry. Women
Yep.
who don't normally go out and protest were
Right.
angry. Women
Right.
who sit in their homes and just think about this and think about
Mhm.
their daughters and their granddaughters and their
Yep.
sisters.
Yep.
So, yeah. it's not going to be a few days. And also, she can just take you. You know what? When you live in Texas, you want to take a bus. You're going to be on that bus for like 8 hours and possibly bleeding out. Okay. You think
Yeah.
Amanda could have gotten on a bus?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's so callous and just so. I mean,
It's
these people, they're making it very clear how they feel about women.
right, right. And I know that you had sent over the video with Carrie Lake.
I don't believe in abortion. I think the older law is going to go into effect. That's what I believe will happen. I don't think abortion pills should be legal. We have a great law on the books right now. If that happens, we will be a state where we will not be taking the lives of our unborn anymore. I'm incredibly thrilled that we are going to have a great law that's already on the books. So it will prohibit abortion in Arizona, and I think we're going to be paving the way and setting course for other states to follow. This total ban on abortion that the Arizona Supreme Court just ruled on is out of line with where the people of this state are. The issue is less about banning abortion and more about saving babies. I agree with President Trump. This is such a personal and private issue. I chose life, but I'm not every woman. I want to make sure that every woman who finds herself pregnant has more choices so that she can make that choice that I made.
These people understanding that the dog has caught the car, and the reaction they're seeing this.
Oh, they're panicking. They're panicking.
Yeah, and they're totally panicking. And so, Trump comes out, and of course the media reports it as, oh, he's moderated on his original. It's such bullshit. It's like,
you can't play those games with this issue like the media likes to do, like the both sides. Oh, he's being moderate. No, there's no moderate thing about, taking reproductive freedom away from women. There's no way he can moderate. How is he moderating that?
Yeah.
He didn't moderate that by just stating, oh, it's going to be up to the states. Yeah, we know that. You overturned Roe v. Wade. You appointed the Supreme Court justice that overturned it.
Right.
And as far as these Republicans, get ready, folks, because they're going to lie.
Right.
They're going to lie just like the Supreme Court justices did when they were questioned about Roe v. Wade, and they said it was settled law to a person. They all said it, and they all voted. Those 6 Republican Supreme Court justices all voted to overturn Roe.
Yeah.
So you cannot believe a word these people say. Carrie Lake, she was one of the people from Arizona that was so happy about this 1864 law being reinstated. She thought it was great.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, this law is so old, they don't even say pregnant. It says with child.
Yes.
If a woman is with child, it's
it is beyond insulting, and it's, to have come this far, and then they think that they're going to be able to take away the rights. And for women in blue states, I mean, you're already there. Texas is already there. They want to do this across the country. They want to do exactly what they're doing in Texas all over the country. And they are, with Project 2025, they are going to find a way. They're going to use the Comstock Act. So that means that women in Illinois, women in California, women in any of these blue states,
New York, Massachusetts.
Yeah, because 60% of women who have abortions do so with mifepristone, with the abortion pills. So again, the exceptions mean nothing. They
don't mean
will
anything.
do it, and they're not going to stop with that either. With the Comstock app, they're going to go after birth control. Clarence Thomas said as much within the first week of them overturning Roe. Okay, so when they say states' rights, it doesn't freaking matter. That doesn't matter. They are going to find a way, one way or another, to screw us over, every single woman in this country. And honestly, I'm not okay. Even though we codified Roe into our state constitution, I'm not okay with the fact that, your daughter is not able to access reproductive care, or your, Davy's girlfriend, Sarah, is not. That is unacceptable. Women, all throughout the country should be absolutely
Yeah.
incensed, mortified, and angry. And this is one
And
party that's doing this to us. It
and
is the
it's a warning. It's a
Party.
warning.
Yeah.
Yes, it is the Republican Party. It's a warning because you don't want to be Texas, and that's what they have in store for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was listening to this podcast and they were talking about how, because these women live in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called I've Had It. And they were talking about some of these people in these states, like in California and in Illinois and states like that, free states, that'll
Right.
say something like, they're both the same, I can't vote for. You know what? You live in a red state, real quick they're not the same.
Right.
Real quick, because you may be sitting in California where your rights are protected right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you think, you're worried about Gaza or whatever. You actually have the privilege to be concerned about other things.
Right.
When you live in a red state, you don't have that privilege because you're worried about your daughters or yourself
Right.
and your gay son.
Right.
So, or if you're black or you're brown, I mean, they are out to get you if you live in a red state and you're
Mhm.
not one of them.
Right.
So, and they were talking about that, and people need to understand that because they want to turn the whole country
Mm-hmm.
into. And if you listen to these people who think that we're being hyperbolic about birth control,
No.
go listen to some of these people. We were talking about Charlie Kirk,
Yeah.
who runs Turning Point
Yeah.
USA, who goes to all these college campuses. He goes to see, Trump is one of his friends. Okay.
Yep.
These are the people that are going to be the
Mhm.
leaders of our country.
Yep.
So pay attention to what they're saying.
Yep.
Charlie Kirk is talking about birth control makes women crazy. It makes them, what did he say? Suicide. He said all these crazy things, ugly. And so these people don't want women to have birth control because once again, birth control, when women have birth control, they control their lives. They control their reproductive future. If they can control that, they can control their lives.
Right.
Because before the pill, that's one of the reasons women were kind of strapped to their husbands in their homes.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what they want again, because then we have to then we can't leave them. Then we
No.
need them.
Right. Well, and that's exactly what they want, I mean,
Us to be dependent on them again. Yeah.
100%. This episode of True Blue Politics is brought to you by Night Sky Woodworks, featuring gorgeous products like cutting boards, cheese and charcuterie boards, and a beautiful tea light holders, all crafted in their Chicago, Illinois wood shop, all of which have eye-catching designs and make the perfect complementary piece for any kitchen or living room. If you use TruBlu, that's TruBlu, at checkout on their Etsy shop, you get 10% off any order, which is a pretty great deal if you ask me. So go check out their in-stock designs today or message your custom order request on their Etsy shop today by visiting etsy.com/shop/nightskywoodworks and use TruBlu at checkout for 10% off. That's etsy.com/shop/NITESKYE Woodworks and use code TruBlu, TruBlu at checkout for 10% off. Looking for the perfect gift or just want to treat yourself? Life So Full has you covered with everything from handbags, wallets, and travel bags to lanyards and more, all lovingly and uniquely handcrafted. Learn more at lifesoful.com. That's spelled LIFESEWFULL.com and enter code TruBlu, TruBlu at checkout for 15% off your next purchase. Hurry! Offer expires May 15th, 2024.
This is what it tells me? These people don't give a shit about anything. They
No.
do not care. They are just going to, whatever is politically expedient at the time.
That's right.
So Donald Trump was an empty vessel, and he
Yep.
will still be an empty vessel.
That's
and all
right.
these people that are taking him to the White House are going to be making the decisions. That's why Project 2025 is
Mhm.
such a threat with him
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
doesn't care about anything. He just wants to play golf and play president and have all the power and the
Mhm.
prestige
Mhm.
and get rich,
Yeah.
use it for financial advantage,
Right.
make some deals with Saudi Arabia, you
Mhm.
know, give Russia Ukraine.
Right. Yep. Oh
But
no, without a
they,
doubt. But like getting back to the abortion, with the IVF,
yep,
you
yeah,
know.
they try to say, life begins at fertilization. That's what they said. They passed a bill in Congress led by MAGA Mike
Mhm.
saying that life begins at conception or fertilization. It said fertilization, and
Yeah.
then comes out and says he's pro IVF. You cannot be both.
Yeah.
You can't be both.
Yep.
And this is what they're trying to do. They're going to lie. This is what they think they're going to do. They're going to lie, and up to
Mhm.
the election, and then they're going to fuck us all over.
Right. Well, and so our good friends at Global Project Against Hate and Extremism, Heidi and Wendy, we had them on
Yeah.
a few episodes ago. So they do this great work and they monitor Project 2025. And so if you subscribe to their emails, they will send you updates. And so I actually got an update this morning, and this is the title: Project 2025 Organizations Battle Against Surrogacy. So, we kind of talked about this earlier in the day, talking about how IVF that would affect
Yeah. Lesbian.
family lesbian couples. And then here you have the surrogacy part of this. And basically, so that goes after. So this is the quote: the child's two dads, no matter how much they love her, wanted her, or paid for her, will never be able to fill her longing for a mother, her biological mother. Heritage researcher Emma Waters wrote in February 2023. Waters again described the anti-reproductive rights view of surrogacy in January 2024, opposing a Michigan bill decriminalizing compensation for surrogates that would become law on April 1st, 2024, despite her arguments.
They have no basis for saying that.
No.
You can look at the data, and it shows that the kids that come out of same-sex parents
Mhm.
are actually more well-adjusted.
It's just on its face, it's just nonsensical, as though heterosexual couples are better parents, children of
Yeah.
heterosexuals have a better upbringing. That is absolute
Based on what? Based on
nonsense.
what?
Based
Yeah.
on what? Okay, I would take a gay couple over Donald Trump and Melania
Oh,
or
and
any
the
of the other mail order brides that he was married to.
no
I mean, are
kidding.
you
That's a good
kidding me?
compared to, like, Mayor Pete and his husband.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. They have
You
twins. Yeah.
it doesn't, you do not, a man and a woman are not the only people that
Yeah.
can couple together and
Kids
be
just need good parents.
amazing
Yeah.
parents and have to provide households full of love.
Mhm.
It's just absolutely nonsensical, and it is absolutely disgusting. And everybody, I don't care. I don't care if you're straight, gay, lesbian, whatever it is, this should absolutely be unacceptable. And we
Yeah.
should all be coming out in droves and voting these people out of office. We need to
It's
crush this.
it's so funny how they remember the Sharia law scare?
Yeah,
That's what they're doing. It's
yeah,
basically a
yeah,
Christian version of Sharia law.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, it is,
So,
it's
it's
disgusting.
fundamentalism. It's this kind of weird
It's
fundamentalist
this
Christian.
total
Yeah.
total weirdo, fundamentalist
It's not
Christianity.
Jesus. It's not Christian
No, it's not Jesus. Jesus never said anything about abortion. I mean, it's just
or gay
nonsense.
people or gays or lesbian
No,
or any of that. And
no,
those are the
no.
things they focus on the most.
Mm-hmm.
That's the things that these so-called Christians are always focused on. It's always about sex.
Yeah.
They think that being gay is all about sex. They do
Yeah.
not. So that's why they have a problem with it. because
Yeah.
they're obsessed with that.
It's almost like I don't know what to say anymore. And it's like, and this, okay, but this is the thing that we need to always remind people of too. This has been the Republican agenda for decades.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have done everything that they have done has led us to this point with Mitch McConnell stacking the courts with conservative justices. This is this is exactly what they wanted to do. So when they come out and they try and pretend like they're shifting their position like Carrie Lake or Donald Trump, or any of them want to
Well,
try and do that, we have seen these people. And I
yeah.
just want to play this for you, Anita,
Mhm.
and just as a little reminder that this goes back. This is nothing new.
Rape. The female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down.
Who is that?
I think Todd Aiken or that was the guy running in Missouri.
Yes.
Yes.
So that was, that was back.
That was yes.
Yeah.
That was with Claire McCaskill.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of took advantage of that, and at that time was like, oh my God. But the thing is, they should have seen that was a canary in the coal mine because people rejected that guy.
Absolutely.
They rejected him for saying that. But the Republican Party itself, they were in agreement with him because Paul Ryan and
Todd Aiken.
Todd
Yeah.
Aiken had passed legislation to talk about legitimate rape, differentiating legitimate rape from illegitimate rape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so this is who they really are. And all they've been doing is trying to mask all that by pretending, and also a lot of projection. The party of big government, for instance, like I talked about before, they called Democrat the party of big government. Democrats have never been the party of big government. As a matter of fact, we're the party that wants government out of our lives.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And they're the party that wants government in all aspects of our life. So they're the party of the biggest government you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And with Donald Trump, it would even be worse. I mean, it's reminiscent of a communist regime. It really is.
Yeah.
So anyway,
No,
I remember that.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
remember
God.
that.
And it's just, that was bad. But remember, those were the good old days when something like that would cause a Republican to drop out, where it would cause the Republican Party, even though they agreed with him. And there were a lot of people that agreed with him.
Yeah. Oh, no, but their extremism eats itself.
Yeah.
So you cannot be too extreme for these people. The base has taken over their party.
Right.
The Republican base has always been horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And so they thought they had them under control.
Right.
And they've pretty much just taken over the whole Republican Party. So now you have to be crazy to be a Republican.
Yeah.
You have to go along with this stuff.
Yeah, the crazier, the more extreme, the better.
Yeah. And but they keep demanding more extremism. More and more extremism. Now they want to get rid of MAGA Mike.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
MAGA Mike is too liberal. MAGA Mike is a secret Democrat.
And so what does he have to do with all this pressure? He goes down to Mar-a-Lago.
Exactly. They're
to
saying
meet with Donald Trump about election integrity.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That was a big, oh my God.
Such a load of shit.
Disaster.
Total shit. So here, this is Charlie Kirk.
A lot of them are on birth control too. And birth control really screws up female brains, by the way. Every single one of you need to make sure that your loved ones are not on birth control. It increases depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation. Birth control is the #1 most prescribed medication for young ladies under the age of 25. They will give young ladies birth control for pimples, for acne, to control their moods, their period. It is awful. It's terrible. And it creates very angry and bitter young ladies and young women. That bitterness manifests into a political party that is the bitter party. I mean, the Democrats.
Oh my God.
You're bitter. We'll give you free stuff.
So bitter. I'm so bitter.
Bitterness for stuff, essentially. That's like the Democrat Party.
Oh my
It's
fucking
true. It's
God.
true.
I swear
it's all those
to
birth
God.
controls. Those birth control pills
No.
I took.
Hey. Hey, Charlie, it might be you. Okay. You might be,
maybe that's why women are coming across as bitter to you.
Is bitter. It sounds like a personal problem, dude. It has nothing to do. Oh my Yeah, I swear to God.
Democrats are the party of bitter women.
Oh,
Oh my
yes.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait, what is it like a chicken and egg though? Like, do you
Well,
get do you get bitter first and then go to the Democratic Party, or are you because you're a Democrat, then
well, if you've been on
it's like
birth control,
it's the
you become bitter,
combination.
and then you become a Democrat.
Wait,
That's why Sarah
it's
Palin is
yeah.
not bitter at all.
Right.
Sarah
Is it
Palin's not.
no, she's totally rational
Same with
and sane.
same
Mhm.
with that woman that did the speech at the State of the Union response. She's
Oh
not
my
bitter.
no, she's medicated. She's heavily
Marge
medicated.
Green isn't bitter. Marjorie
No.
Trader Green, she's not bitter. And neither is Lauren
No.
Boebert. They're not
No.
bitter.
No, and they seem totally reasonable and rational, screaming through AOC's mailbox, harassing David Hogg after he went and testified
Exactly.
before
Or
Congress.
AOC.
Yeah, AOC
Come out,
screaming.
come
Yeah.
out, AOC. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so ridiculous. It's just so funny.
It is it's laughable. I
But
mean,
they believe that. But they believe that stuff. I mean,
I
seriously,
know.
Charlie Kirk is a big influencer.
Yeah.
And of course, not for young people because he works out of Arizona. He's being funded by, I can't remember who it is. Was it Harlan Crow maybe that's funding him? They're giving him all this money to try to get college students and high school students to vote Republican. And so, of course, he was working mostly in Arizona, and Arizona went completely blue last election. So I guess he's not doing a very good job.
No, apparently not.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I think in Arizona, young people under 30 voted 80% for Democrats. So I guess maybe he's just turning them off with that kind of talk about bitter women on birth control.
Yeah.
Might not work out so well for him there.
Oh, Lord above. I swear to God. It just,
I know.
but I, the good news, right? I think the
Yes.
good news is that they have so screwed
they screwed up.
themselves.
They have really screwed up. Yeah.
They have yeah.
Well, what we were talking about earlier, that speech, Donald Trump, I have never seen a blunder as big as that in the political party. I mean, maybe this is worse than Mitt Romney's 47% speech, or what that tape, because he has pissed off everyone. He's now, how a lot of people that love Donald Trump, I don't understand it, but they think he's the truth teller. He's with them. So when he's out there pandering like that, okay, because it's politically expedient for him to do that, then he just becomes Jeb Bush.
Yeah.
He just becomes Mitt Romney, right? He just becomes Paul Ryan, just a regular Republican.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know, I don't know why everybody's getting so excited here. I mean, like, what's everybody getting all up in arms about? Little ladies,
Yeah.
some more.
And he just made it worse. He just made it worse for himself. So, because nobody believes, because he appointed those Supreme Court justices. He made a deal with them. You stick with me, I will get rid of abortion. I will get rid of Roe.
Yeah. But it's what world do these people live in? Even the Supreme Court justices or these Republicans who have daughters, who have wives, who have complications due to pregnancy. And now that this is happening, I mean, what
they live in a world with,
they hear these stories, and seriously, that does nothing. That does nothing. You don't understand. Like, you have zero empathy. You have zero understanding, interest in learning, about it. It's just, it defies any kind of logic. And why the fuck would we put any of these people in charge of anything?
I know. I was just going to say that. These people are on the Supreme Court. They're supposed to be the biggest legal minds in the country, right? The greatest legal minds in the country. And you have Alito taking away a right that we've had for over 50 years based on some guy from 16th century English law.
Yeah.
Okay.
A witch hunter. He was a witch hunter. He was
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just if you actually understand or read their arguments that they make, they don't make
Right.
any sense. They
No,
really just don't make any sense. These are not the greatest legal minds, seriously.
no,
So,
no.
you know,
Did
I
they
don't know
get
what
their
they think.
did they get their legal degrees out of like a Cracker Jack box or something?
No, they did well, basically because they just did it through the Federalist Society.
Ah,
The Federalist Society cultivates these
yep.
lawyers. They don't want them to be too smart. Not a lot of
Mhm.
critical thinking there. They just
Yeah,
want them to toe the conservative line,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And so they've been cultivating these,
Mhm,
pro-life, forced
mhm.
birth, Republican, conservative, extremist
Right.
supreme justices for a long time, judges.
Yeah, yeah,
And they get them in law school. They start in law school like
yeah.
that. The woman that's in Florida, what's her name? The great Elaine
Elaine
Cannon.
Cannon.
She's one of
Mhm.
them. Yeah, she's a
Yeah,
nut.
yeah, yeah. They're just yeah, it just this is not I don't think that this is what our forefathers had intended.
I don't think so. But you know what? Who knows? Who knows? They were just a
Well,
bunch of men.
well, well, I mean, they were very much products of the time and, but the reality of the situation is we have progressed, some of us more than others. And so when you give women the right to vote, when you give women the right to make decisions for their own economies, autonomy over their bodies, give
They
them,
don't
provide
they
them
don't
with
give it to
acts,
them.
well,
You
what I'm
affirm
saying,
their right. You
you
affirm their right.
affirm,
Yeah.
right, right. When you affirm their rights, I mean, because we did not have them, and then you and I are old enough to remember when Roe was put in place. And now our children, your daughter,
Yeah.
my sons, your son are starting to it's just
Yeah.
they've only and you and I have pretty much only
Only
known a
known Roe.
world where
Yeah.
were able to go and have an abortion if you needed to, for whatever
Interest,
reason. For whatever
interest,
reason. Yeah.
interestingly enough, I mean, our generation doesn't really remember like women dying from abortions, but
No.
our mothers did, okay? And
Yes.
older women do.
Mhm.
And
We
those
saw it in
women,
movies. We saw it in Dirty
yeah, we
Dancing.
heard
Right.
about it, yeah, but
Yeah.
we didn't experience it. I can remember, and I'm sure you remember this, my mother telling me, or my mother-in-law telling me about girls that didn't show up. They just
Mhm.
disappeared, or one girl that died from an abortion. They had to have
Yeah.
they had to bring up the whole school and do a into the auditorium and talk about it.
Right.
Because women used to die from it
Yeah.
on a regular basis.
Yep.
But anyway, we don't remember that. So these women are some
Mhm.
of the most, they're the most vocal advocates for abortion rights, for reproductive freedom, because they
Yep.
remember.
They remember it. They know how bad it can get.
Yeah, exactly.
It
So
just yeah, it is a bizarre and
yeah,
horrible time to be alive. It is also a very exciting time to be
if we
alive
survive
because
it, if we
we
survive it,
and we will survive it, and the
yeah, we
reason that
will.
we are going to survive it is because people are activated. People are not okay with this. There are more and more people. There's more and more polling, right?
Yeah.
That are and the down,
Well,
and all of the ballot initiatives all over the place. I
it's
feel
not
like,
just that, but it's not
yeah,
just that, Karen. In like that ad that Biden put out, which I thought
yeah,
was brilliant, because he
yeah,
said they took away your reproductive freedom, your reproductive rights.
yeah.
What other rights are they going to take from you?
That's right. Right.
That is such an important message, because you know what? If they can take away a freedom
Mhm.
from women that is so basic,
Mhm.
they can take. You don't think they're going to? They can just flippantly take away birth control, gay marriage for sure.
Mhm. Well, as we said, uh Thomas, Justice Thomas,
Clarence, yeah,
Clarence Thomas has already said that
that's next.
this is next. It paves the way for them to go after birth control, go after gay marriage, so you better believe they're not going to stop. They will not
especially if
stop.
Trump gets in and gets to appoint more justices. Then
Yeah.
forget it. You can just count on them doing that.
Yeah.
Well, we can't even, that cannot happen, by the
No.
way.
No.
That can't happen. And
No.
I'm a little more optimistic. I don't want to be, too optimistic because I know we have a long
We're
way to
not
go.
safe. Yeah, we're not safe. We're not safe until November 6th, when we hear that President Biden has been reelected, and
Yeah.
we've picked up more seats in the Senate, and we've taken back the House,
And
and
we can codify Roe
we
again.
can codify Roe, and we can
Protect
get rid of the filibuster, codify Roe,
protect voting rights.
voting rights.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's so many things that we need to do. And you know what we've learned? We've learned that those things need to be protected more than just having relying on an old, like a Supreme Court. Because it seems, I guess, those things can be taken away. And those guys, that's another thing we need to do, expand the Supreme Court.
Yes. Expand the court. Yeah, I thought it was interesting because, like, I've always been saying, oh, well, there are 13 circuit courts, so we need to expand it to 13. But when we had our conversation with Cliff, he was saying even more.
I don't know if that's feasible. I really don't, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know
that
much about.
I was kind of like,
but see, you can justify the 13. You can justify the 13, like you said.
Right.
So I think we'd have to start there.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, okay. Well, listen, I mean, we have a lot of work to do. Like you said,
Yes, we do.
We cannot rest on our laurels. We can't, we're not safe. We're not safe until we know that President Biden is reelected and Kamala Harris who, by the way, has been amazing on this issue.
She really has. She's been outstanding. She did an event today in Arizona, and it was amazing, because she flew right there after this, which is, she knows that you need to take this opportunity and galvanize people because this is an important issue. In Arizona, let me tell you something. They're saying that the attorney general is not going to prosecute people. I know people have thought, oh, well, see, she's not even going to prosecute anybody that, has an abortion or performs an abortion. Yeah, except for the fact that what if she's not there?
Right.
What if because the statute of limitations won't have run out. Nobody's going to want to perform an abortion not knowing what the result of the next election is going to be in Arizona. I can tell you right now. So it's important in Arizona that they stay blue. And this is going to galvanize the people of Arizona. And now Democrats and Joe Biden have a much better chance, and Kamala Harris have a much better chance of retaining Arizona.
Right. And the very notable difference between Republicans who pander, to their base and use, all these little dog whistles and it's so cynical and insulting because it means nothing. It's so shallow. It means nothing. Whereas when you have President Biden and Kamala Harris and Democrats going out and talking, they mean it. They're genuinely concerned about the issues facing regular Americans, and they want to do something about it.
Well, all the Republicans are doing. I mean, look at what they've been doing in Congress. It's a perfect example of what they stand for. Nothing. They're going to save gas stoves, and they were talking about, I think, some sort of water, I don't know, sinks and refrigerators. I mean, I don't know, appliances. Okay, they're working on appliances. In other words, they're not working for you. Oh, and impeaching Mayorkas and Joe Biden, even though they don't have any evidence.
They're more concerned about the rights of gas stoves.
Yes, than women. Yeah.
Than women. Think about that.
Your poor gas stove. They're going to take away your gas stove.
No,
Who cares about your daughter's reproductive freedom?
Oh my God. Seriously. Who cares if you bleed out in the hospital parking lot?
Yeah. Well, you can eventually, we'll get to you. Yeah, I know. They don't care. They don't have any policies. Their platform, they didn't even have a platform. That is such a fascistic. That is what fascists do.
Yes.
They don't even stand for anything. They just stand for whatever the leader says. And the leader they want is a rapist, is a adjudicated rapist and fraudster is a grifter, is nothing, a pathological liar. He spent his whole life ripping people off, and this is who they want. This is who embodies them.
And here we have a clip of Trump. What are you going to do? I'm going to just play that for us. So
Okay.
we'll go
Give
out
us a
on
little
this.
joy. Give us a little joy.
We'll go out on this, and we'll listen to the shadow president.
Okay. Let's see what Donald Trump has to say on his way out.
He'll close us out for this week's podcast. So here we go.
Pretty soon, you penis heads are going to have to figure out what to do with the rest of your lives, because I'm going to lose the election and I'll be a convicted felon serving a prison sentence, and you crackpot mega jerk-offs are going to have to figure out what you're going to do. What are you going to do with all those ridiculous MAGA hats? And what are you going to do with all those stupid Trump flags with angry slogans like fuck your feelings and no more bullshit? All that crap you bought over the years is going to be totally useless. I won't be running for anything because I'll be in prison. There won't be any more white trash rallies, and there won't be any psycho angry posts on True Social. I'll be too busy giving head to my cellmate, and I won't even have a phone anyway, so you'll never even hear my annoying voice anymore. There won't be any internet videos, no more courtroom bullshit, no more Fox News and Newsmax interviews, no more anything. I'll be gone away. The media won't have any more Looney Tunes shit to cover. It's going to be 100% radio silence from me. So what's your plan? Has it even crossed your withered mind what the fuck you're going to do when I'm locked away in a prison cell? Out of sight and out of mind. No media coverage except maybe documentaries about what a criminal fuck up I was. So you MAGA-tards need to ask yourself a simple question. What are you going to do? You've wrapped your entire identity up in a moronic con man cult leader whose impossibly stupid life story will end in a matter of months in a predictably pathetic way. Total disgrace and a lifelong prison term. So what are you going to do?